Hello, welcome to Starbucks. Can I get a large cappuccino?
What's happening? My name is Adrian and welcome back to What the Pan. So if you was here 2 weeks ago, we had quite an interesting little hot hatch on the channel. It was a Hyundai i20N. So this week I thought I'll give you all a bit of a little treat and have another interesting hot hatch on the channel. And right now we are on the way to Mexico to meet up with an acquaintance. So let's go. Right, and just like that, we are here, and right now with me in the driver's seat, we have quite a notable driver in Mexico, and some of you may recognize him. And today we have Billz.
Hola, welcome to Mexico, Mr. Pan, man.
Welcome to What the Pan, man. Thank you for your time.
Nah, pleasure. Thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate you, brother.
So tell us quickly what we are in, and how did you end up with this particular example of car?
All right, so we are in my Mercedes Benz A35 AMG, my little pocket rocket. This is my daily driver. This is what you'll see me nipping about town, nipping about the city in. In terms of how I ended up with this car, it was time to change up from my last car, which was a BMW. And initially I was looking for something, potentially a coupe, potentially a hatchback, something with a little bit of comfort, always a little bit of juice. I can't be doing no granny whips, man. I need something that gets me from A to B in a little bit of a hurry. And I'll be honest with you, I initially wasn't actually looking at an A35 or even considering something like it. I was looking more down the route of potentially like a C300 coupe or maybe a BMW 4 Series. I'm very big on interior luxury, sound quality in terms of the system, and like I said, just having a little bit of juice when I put my pedal down. But yeah, it turned out that I headed down to a garage in Watford called Exclusive Autos, which one of my friends works at, and it's like a family business, and they were trying to source me a C300, but we were having a little bit of trouble finding the spec that I wanted, as I'm a complete fussbot when it comes to specs, man. I need the pan roof, I need the speakers, I need the full up-nar spec and that, do you know what I'm saying?
Which we can have when we have a quick look around, we can see exactly how fussy you are.
Exactly what I mean about the fuss, about the fussiness. And it was actually that my boy said to me, I've got an A35 in today, one previous owner, like I said, low mileage, I think you'll like it. Do you want to come down and have a look? So I'll be real, and I've had this conversation with Adrian before, I definitely wasn't the biggest fan. I didn't actually know too much about the A35s. I just thought if there's an A45S out there, what is an A35? Surely it's just a toned down AMG. But hopped in the driver's seat, went for a little test drive, and I was sold, man. This little pocket rocket, I've got no regrets. It's sensational. As a daily driver, like I said, it gets me from A to B in a hurry. I serve up large cappuccinos to people that try it with me. Yeah, man.
Which
I love it, man.
We'll probably see quite a few in a bit, man.
No. DVLA, he's lying.
All right, so let's have a quick look around the car and see what's going on. Right, so yes, what we have here is the Mercedes A35, and quickly going over some of the specs of the car. In the front of the car, we have a 2-litre turbo engine with 302 brake horsepower and 400 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 time of about 4.7 seconds. Helping the car put all this power down, you are looking at a Mercedes 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. Original retail price starting from about 35k, but if you want something similar to this with all the boxes ticked, you are looking at the region of 50 and above. Auto Trader used prices start at around 27k, but obviously not with similar features and add-ons as this. One more thing to add, the engine in this, it's the same engine shared between the Mercedes A220, A250, which is the Mercedes M260 engine, whereas if it's an A45, you have the AMG built M139 engine. Think I've got everything wrapped up there?
100%. I would say, as most people who purchase Mercedes will know, you have a whole list of options in terms of what you can customize, what you can add on. When I was shopping around for the A35, I could see there was a big difference between just your standard editions, then your premium and your premium plus. You have the option to add the aero kit, which is basically the big body kit that you've got on it with the diffuser, the rear spoiler, and a few other trimmings. You also get a pan roof, upgraded sound system, etc. But as always with German manufacturers, and most specifically Mercedes Benz, you pay quite a bit of dollar to actually get these upgrades added on. I'm of the mentality of, if you're going to do something, do it properly. So I was never going to go for one without an aero pack, or without the sunroof, without the speakers, for example. But yeah, man, you can definitely get one of these on a pretty decent budget. I mean, if you're looking kind of in that early 30s range, you can pick up some decent ones on Auto Trader, etc., which have been used. But if you're looking something that's a little bit more of a head turner, probably not as discreet, then you want to be looking at the premium or the premium plus editions. Like I said, you get stuff like the aero body kit, the sunroof, etc., and fully spec'd out. You know what I'm saying?
Knowing you, I would have been quite upset if you didn't get one with the upgraded speakers. Honestly, knowing the story of your previous car and the speakers on that, I would have been upset, man.
I blew the speakers on my last car. People that know me know I'm a music guy. I do tend to add to the low-key look of this car by playing my music at quite a loud volume. So yeah, man. I have to say as well, the Burmester system that's in this Mercedes is probably the best that I've heard. I've been in cars, for example, BMWs, which have the upgraded Harman Kardons. Audi used to use a Bose system, for example. But all bias aside, I would say this Burmester system, which they've got on these, even in the C-classes, E-classes, for example, 10 out of 10. It's a banging sound system.
Maybe we'll get a chance to test it out later on. So, shall I pop in?
Yeah, jump
Have
in,
a bit of a drive then.
Let's go for a little spin, brother.
In terms of the price range that we're looking at for a A35,
Yes, my guy.
at the time you were not spoilt for decent options, I reckon.
Oh,
so
100%.
yeah,
There was a lot of choice out there. And once again, I'll go back to what I was looking at in terms of the C300 range. I was probably looking to spend about 30. That was kind of where I set my budget, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to spend too much more. As you know, man, I'm kind of in and around cars quite a lot.
Yeah.
But something as a daily driver, given the mileage that I do, how busy I am all the time, I kind of was looking for something that was, I wouldn't say economical, because I'm never going to be an economical brother. It's just not the way I am, man. I don't understand eco mode or electric cars, any of that. But that's a conversation for a different day. It wasn't until I test drove this A35 that I realised, yeah, this is definitely the one for me. And yeah, it was a case of, I just can't fault it. I mean, of course, the MPG is a little bit of a burner on the pocket, and it doesn't help sometimes, but in terms of enjoyment, just pure kind of controlled recklessness on the road, it's a great engine, it's a great car, it's very much aim and fire in that sense. If you're a confident driver, this car will respond to you very quickly. I don't think you need to be the best driver in the world to be able to drive this fast. But I think to actually get the best out of it and to properly enjoy it, you need to know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Because the 4MATIC system is there ultimately to control you, to help you kind of balance the weight through the wheels when you're going through corners, etc. But at the same time, man, if you know what you're doing and you've got a little bit of wits about you, you can really, really have some fun in this thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. So why not at the time? Why not, like, you know, similar budget? You had the option, you know, similar kind of, almost similar kind of performance and all-wheel drive system as well. You had like things like the Golf R.
How did I know you were going to ask me about a
S3.
Golf R, Mr. Volkswagen? Mr. Volkswagen had to bring up the Golf R. No, I'm only joking. I'll be honest with you, the biggest factor when it came to picking a Mercedes, as I said,
Yeah.
I switched from a BMW, was the interior.
Yeah.
I am one of them people that says, like, I sit on the inside of the car. As much as I want the outside of my car to be a head turner and to be good looking, I'm on the inside, I'm doing motorway miles, etc. It needs to be comfy, it needs to have an aspect of luxury to it, do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You've got to keep it bougie sometimes, people. You've got to keep it bougie. And I think Mercedes is just a class above at the moment.
Definitely.
I think the other retailers are just slightly behind. Maybe not in terms of performance, maybe not in terms of drive. I think it's a toss-up between them in terms of preference of driving. But when it comes to the actual luxury of sitting in the cabin of this, from the ambient lighting, the screens, the sound system, just the options that are available to you in the interior, I have to say there is no competition when it comes to the Mercedes, man.
Yeah. I mean, literally since like 2013, when they completely changed the shape of the A-Class.
Yeah.
When they completely changed the shape of the A-Class, I was a fan.
100%.
Yeah, because like previous shape,
Dead. Absolutely.
yeah, completely
dead, bro.
disliked, but they were actually quite fun to drive. Like if you needed, well, it was just a fun car to drive, very silly around. But yeah, since they changed the shape, 2013, loved it, and then like this facelift, it was about 2018. Interior, I think hands down, no other manufacturer even comes close to the quality and the styling of the interior of this Mercedes.
I mean, for example, look how comfortably and luxuriously you're sitting whilst I throw this around the country lane corners. I'm watching you try to keep your composure while I do it. It's top tier entertainment. I can't even lie to you, Adrian.
I mean, I've been in a few fast cars, but yeah, I guess the comfort's helping
Come
me
on, man.
stay a
That's
bit
what I'm
composed.
That was the art. I knew I could disguise my partially reckless driving with a comfortable interior. Look at this geezer just walking in the road. Brother, do you want to turn into a smash burger? What's wrong with you, fam? Nasty.
What's it been like owning the A35 for you? Has it met your needs, and has it been reliable since you've had it for what, just over a year?
I'll start on the reliability. Absolutely, I've had no real problems with the A35. I would say the only thing that I've probably found a little bit frustrating is the AMG wheels that they come fitted with if you get the aero pack. So I can't remember the exact name of them, but the satin black big AMG wheels. They are quite prone to cracking if you hit a pothole. Thankfully, I know some people that do some good wheel repairs, but they told me themselves that these particular wheels, like that, are particularly prone to cracking and just generally kind of taking some damage due to low profile tyres as well. Other than that, I've got no complaints on the reliability. It's not caused me any dramas at all. Obviously the car's fairly new, right? I've not even touched 30k on the mileage, so that does help. But yeah, man, I can't complain on the reliability.
And just to comment on the comfort again, given how we just gone over that pothole,
Yeah.
in other cars, I would have felt it in my lower back already.
Yeah, and this is in Sport Plus, so it's naturally going to have kind of a more tense suspension in Sport Plus. But if you're to drive the car in comfort, man, it feels like a four-wheel drive car when you drive it in comfort. It doesn't feel like a little typical A-Class hatchback in that sense. It's definitely got that aspect of comfort. You can kind of waft around, no noise, you know what I mean? Being a little bit more civil, even if the car doesn't look civil.
The way you kids that, no.
Yeah, man, it's got the best of both worlds in that sense. But yeah, the car in general has definitely surprised me. I think I underestimated how much power you can actually put out of this day to day. And I don't mean in terms of metrics or in terms of statistics, man. I just feel like day to day, in and out of traffic, dual carriageways, B roads, you can really get going in this due to its size, due to the drive. And it's just been an enjoyable experience, man. It's definitely opened my eyes to kind of these little hot hatches in that sense, because I've always been more of a guy that looks at something maybe like an M3 or an M4 or Range Rover SVR, that type of thing. Big, powerful cars. But yeah, man, this was one of the best things I've purchased for sure.
I mean, like what? let's say more than 10 years ago, at that particular time, you had hot hatches with 2-litre engines at around 200 brake horsepower.
100%.
And back then, we all probably thought that, wow, 2-litre at 200, over
that's
200.
It's gonna go,
and now you have like what 2-litre engines getting close to 400.
Yeah, facts. I mean, you look at the A45S, which is obviously the big brother to this car. That's still a 2-litre engine, although it's a different engine, and they're pushing almost 450 brake out of that, which is crazy.
Yeah, unthinkable.
I mean, I wouldn't personally spend another 20 grand for 150 brake horsepower, considering that the interior styling, exterior styling is pretty much exactly the same. I'd rather just chuck a couple of extra grand, obviously doing the aftermarket modifications that I've done to my car. But yeah, I mean, if you're just wanting something that's essentially an M3 and M4 killer, then that A45S in a hatchback shape is ridiculous.
That's the one to go for.
Yeah. Are you comfortable?
Oh yeah. Anything you would like to change about your A35?
I think the biggest one for me is when you're driving it, the sound is great. You get loads of pops and bangs, the engine noise is nice, but when it's idle, as I said, you don't get the pops and bangs, which is a minor thing, man. Most people aren't immature like I am and don't really want to just sit on idle revving their car, but you know how we do when we've had a fuel, so I have to sit there and rev my car sometimes, brother. And yeah, other than that, I've got no complaints. Obviously, the MPG is what it is. You can't buy one of these cars and then sit there crying that you got no money, because putting petrol in this thing is like putting money in a blender, right? It is what it is. But yeah, I really don't have any other complaints when it comes to this car, man. My only personal one, and I know this again is going to sound pretty ridiculous, but if you know, you know, the speed isn't reckless enough for me. Like, it's so refined and so controlled that it's aim and fire. If I point my car in a direction like I'm gonna do now and just plant my foot, it goes. Sammy, this is looking like a bit of good road, mate. See you later, Sammy, mate. Spin back round.
Yeah, why not?
Roundabouts, I'm saying, mush. Come on, mate, I ain't got all day. Gap, bro.
Which then brings me on to my next question. What next after the A35? You got anything planned?
I do have a couple of plans.
Okay.
I won't lie to you. You are no stranger to my plans, Mr. Pun. I would say I'm probably done with hatchback life now. Although, as I said, I like this being a daily, especially in and out of the city. You know, my car's not going to get stuck in... I can kind of weave in and out of traffic as I wish. I can find good parking spots, all that type of stuff. But I think it's time for me to potentially move on to a saloon now. I don't think I'll go for like a full fat AMG or an M car. You know me, I'm not the biggest Volkswagen and Audi fan, even though that's very offensive to my brother here, Mr. Pun. So I think something along the lines of a C43 AMG or an M340i BMW, that will probably be my next way to go. I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards the M340i, just because I've obviously experienced the AMG. Even if this is an AMG Lite, I've experienced it for a year now, and there's not going to be too much differences in terms of like the interior trim, even the drive. It's a 4MATIC system again. I know it's a coupe if I was to get the C43, but at the same time, it's nothing majorly different. And I do miss driving a BMW at the same time. So I think potentially it's a M340i mush. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Great engine.
Exactly, that B58 engine is beautiful. That G20 model as well, I just love the look of it. It's so customizable. You can sit for hours on YouTube just watching what people have done to the exteriors, interiors, exhaust systems, remaps. I'm just concerned for my bank account if I do switch to an M340i. Not on the fuel, just on what I will do to the car, because yeah, you can turn it into,
And honestly,
into a little beast.
Honestly, I'll be looking forward to how you spec your M340i.
You'll be looking forward to it. The DVLA will not, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up for today, Billz?
Cop an A35, man. I think if you're looking for something in that bracket of 30k to 35k, of course, as I said, you may not be able to spec it to this extent. I've done a lot of stuff to this in terms of even smoking front lights, rear lights, changing the grills, putting a Max & Design body kit on it, etc. But if you're looking for something in the 30 to 35k mark, you want a hot hatch, you want some power, but you also want some control and some everyday driving, definitely consider one of these. I know, like Pun said, you've got great options, man, in terms of Golf R, Audi S3, BMW 135i, 140i's, etc. But all-round kind of luxury package, I'd definitely go for A35. I'm also going to add, you've seen me whipping on the roads. If you want to see me whipping in the kitchen, yeah, make sure you go on Instagram, you follow up Billz Kitchen, BILLZ kitchen _, yeah, and you'll see that I whip just as good in my kitchen as I do on the roads.
And somewhere down here, we'll drop that link
down
there.
Here, do you know what I'm saying? But thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Subscribers, make sure you like, subscribe, run it up. If you don't, I will drive to your house, yeah, because this guy deserves all the recognition in the world. Peace and blessings.
On that note, we'll see you all next time.
Deuces. Mary in front of me is about to shit herself, bro. Let me just calm down. Sorry, Mary. Sorry. I know this is a residential area. Don't care, mush. Oh, we've even got a horse. I better not.
Yeah,
pops and bangs might be a bit deep on the horse,
yeah. You don't want to surprise them.
Immature. Scenery is spectacular. Mexico is a very beautiful country, man. I mean,
especially around these vineyards.
Trust me, bro.
The vineyards.
How far are we from Tulum?
Good question.
Just picks up just like that, man. I mean 30. Yo, I just incriminate myself. Yo, 30, sorry man, I ain't got my glasses on today. This is getting in the way of that.